Welcome. This video is about more advanced ClickDetector scripts, touched events, and variables. This tutorial assumes that you know the very basics of Roblox Lua, and you can find them in my previous video on my channel if you do not know about it yet. So, if you know the basics of Lua, we can get into Roblox Studio. So here we are, and we have a part here, so we'll just change its color so it would look like a button, so maybe red would fit well here. As you can see, we have the ClickDetector, object parented to it, and now I will add a script into this button so that we can define a mouse click function. So if I go to view and if I click to output, whatever I print in scripts will be shown right here. So let's say that I want to print the name of the player who clicked on this button. So I'll do script period parent period ClickDetector, and here I'll just connect an event which is actually mouse click because the player has to click on this cube. And now you know those empty brackets aren't here for nothing. Each event has its own argument and it will be specified in these brackets. So I'll type in player here because whenever we are using mouse click or click detector, that means that in the argument we have the exact player who actually clicked this cube or have done some other action with this cube. So now I'll do print, and inside of brackets I'll use player period name. This will print the name of exact player who clicked on this cube. So let's try it out. I'll hit play and see what happens here. Now that I'm in Studio, I'll come closer, and whenever I click on this button, you can see that in the output I have my player's name printed here. It would be your name if you create it in your game, and or if you get into my game, it will also be your name. Now let's say that we want to do this script via variables. Variables are used to make scripts easier, and let's say that we want to print player's name. So instead of always typing in player period name, we can say that player name equals to player period name. Just we have to add prefix local, and this is called a variable. Now the print function would actually be print player name or print our variable. So that is for player's name, but now we can also do the same exact thing with script period parent period click detector, and then we connect mouse click. But imagine that we have script period parent period click detector many times in our script. So instead of doing this, we'll just use a variable. So let's say that there is a variable which is called, for example, local object, and that would equal to script period parent period click detector. Now, whenever we have script period parent period click detector, instead of typing that, we can just type in objects. So local prefix will only be used the first time a variable is defined. So this function would just become object period mouse click, and then we just connect the function that has to be executed. Let's see how it looks inside of Roblox script. So as you can see, here is the script we started working on, and I'll say local player name, so it is the first thing we shown previously. So local player name would equal to player period name. Now this variable actually changes the player's name into one variable which is actually player name. And now we can just print that variable using print and then player name or any other name you give to variable. So let's hit play and see whether or not this is the exact thing that we wanted to do. So I'll go into Roblox Studio once more, hit play, and whenever I click on this cube, you can see that the same exact thing is printed. It is because variables only exchange some data and it doesn't change anything. In fact, it just makes scripting easier. Now, let's try the second thing we've shown, and it is actually replacing the script period parent period click detector. As you can see, it is the same thing I have shown in previous part of the video, and whenever I try to replace it, you can see that now it just says object period mouse click. Now I'll hit play and see whether or not this is the exact same thing that we have done previously. So we just don't have to waste time. You can just try this yourself, and it will work exactly the same. So that's the story about variables, and I hope that you understand how to make variables, how to name them, and also how to use them to make your scripts easier. Okay, so now we can move on to touched events. So let's say once again that local object equals to script period parent, and whenever this object is touched, we're gonna connect a function with part in the argument. Now we're gonna print part's name. So what I have done here actually is that I have used object, then used period touched. It is an event similar to mouse click, and if I click on this cube, nothing will happen. But if I come and touch it, you can see in the output that actually the body parts who touch this cube are printed in the output. And that is the exact thing I try to do. So actually touched events do not require click detector because there are actually no clicks, and many different events and objects have their own arguments. So click detector's argument would be the player who clicked that button or anything else. Period touched argument would actually be the part that touched the. To help you understand touched events even better, here is an example. Let's say that the object or script's parent is this exact cube. As you can see, a player is touching this cube using his left arm. And actually, if we use part in the argument, then the part who is touching this cube will be printed. So in the output, we will have right hand. Actually, it will be left hand depending on which side this player is facing. It doesn't have to be a player necessarily. It could also be something like another part, another cube, even terrain itself, base plate or anything like that. It could also touch this cube. And in the output, if we print what is inside of the argument, then we'll get the exact part that is touching this cube. That is pretty much everything you need to know about touched events as well. For now, of course, and in later videos we will explain how can you add some spice to this touched events, click detector, and make some games which are actually really interesting. Mainly obby games are created this way, but particularly any game you want to create, it will always have some kind of click detectors or touched events. That would be it for this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Please leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more videos about Roblox Lua, and see you next time. Goodbye.